So in this video, I'm going to cover the topic of the ujjayi breath, or the ujjayi breath. So it's pronounced sometimes differently by different teachers. What matters most is the actual technique. So let's dive into that. Now the ujjayi breath is one of the most, I believe, beneficial pranayama techniques and breathing techniques that you could learn, but also sometimes the most challenging to actually really begin with at the start. Now it's usually colloquially kind of joked about in the yoga world that it's like a Darth Vader breath, from Star Wars. So the way I usually teach it with my clients is to actually say, give me your best impersonation of Darth Vader. And they kind of look really confused and smile, but I go, it's really like that. So as you inhale, if I were to demonstrate it, this is what it sounds like. And as you exhale, so if you didn't hear me, let me just go in again. So as you inhale, what you're doing is constricting this bit of your throat and not letting the same amount of air pass through as you normally would breathe in, which is like, that doesn't make too much noise, but what you're doing with the ujjayi breath is constricting this area. You're still just breathing in through the nostrils, but you're not blocking your nostrils to create that sound. So sometimes I see people going and it's really not about that. So let's give it a go. Practice with me, constricting this bit of your throat as you're inhaling and exhaling. So this is what it would sound like. And if you notice, it kind of sounds like the ocean. Or, when you put up a shell to your ear and listen to that sound of the ocean kind of hummingness, that's kind of like the sound that you're trying to produce. Now, when you do actually get the hang of it, it's a very soothing technique. But at the start, that might not be your experience. And at the start, you might want to actually exaggerate to kind of feel like you're doing it in the right way. So if this is not working for you, another way to try is actually imagine that your hand is like a plane of glass and you're unfogging it or fogging it up. So you can practice it first with your mouth open. So have a go with me. No one else is looking. So by placing your hand and going, and then go, try that again. Now do that with the mouth closed. So as you inhale, and as you exhale. So try that again. And what you'll find is slowly you might find that your exhale is a little bit easier or your inhale is a little bit easier, but your exhale is a bit harder. And then just try again doing it with the mouth open. It's almost like when you're trying to also get something unstuck from your throat. So like, that is the area that you're meant to feel. Now the thing is though, when you do practice ujjayi, you ultimately want to get to a place where you're not putting so much strain there, because if you do, you're just going to end up like hurting that area and also wanting to drink lots of water. So initially practicing it a little bit louder in a way that feels a bit abnormal, but then slowly bringing it back and back and back, softer and softer and softer, until it becomes just a hint of it. And what you're doing with this technique is that you're contracting the space that the air passes through your throat. And so, of course, when you're contracting that space, the same amount of air is coming through, but it's now going to be taking a lot longer to come through that part of your throat. And so what that does is extend your breath. Now, whenever you extend your breath, it gives you a very calming and soothing effect. And so it's really well suited for a standalone technique of just being able to calm and soothe yourself. But it also is one of these techniques that you actually apply to possibly other techniques of pranayama, as well as just your asana practice, as well as any time in a meditation where you feel you need a little bit more of a focus so that you can quieten the mind. So let's just have one more go at the end, and then I'll talk about some other techniques in some following videos. But let's have a go of the ujjayi breath. So as you inhale and as you exhale, try again maybe with the mouth. With the mouth closed. And as you also begin to practice this technique, you'll find that the smoothness of your breath will start to become easier and less jerky. If your breath was naturally jerky, that it would start and stop, this would actually help to kind of iron it out. And another thing about it is that you'll start to be able to extend your breath. So this technique is what I always recommend with the extension of the exhale or any extension breathing techniques. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're feeling maybe little bits of it, and don't be disheartened if you're not. Just keep trying and just give me your best impersonation of Darth Vader, and I'll see you on another video.